What's going on, guys? Christian here, and today we're going to go over some of my rods and reels and rigs and stuff that I do for everyday fishing here in Central Florida. So I usually use 4 rods and reels. I use 2 finesse rods, a cranking rod, and just a all-around just bait casting rod with braid. I'll go over my rods, reels, lines, lures that I use on a daily basis, soft plastics, crankbaits, jigs, stuff like that I like to use. So let's just jump into it with our first rod. This is we're going to start with my finesse rods. The first one is a 7'1" medium fast action spinning rod. So this is it right here. It's just a Mojo Bass by St. Croix, 7'1" medium power fast action, and this is one that I typically use as a drop shot rod. I'll see if I can get it in the GoPro for you so you can see the model number and all that jazz. So the model number is MJS71MF. So you can see that is the model for that. So this rod and the reel is a Lew's Speed Spool Mach 1 MH300. Okay, I love this reel. This reel is super awesome. It's got good drag. And on it, I have it spooled with 8-pound test Berkley Vanish fluorocarbon. I'm currently still in the process of trying out multiple different types of fluorocarbon, and right now I'm on Berkley Vanish. I'll tell you that the other finesse rod also has Berkley Vanish, just at a different tension. So on here, actually, you have a 1/8 ounce shaky head on there. See if I can get that in here. It's just an 1/8 ounce shaky head, and on that line. And usually I do use this rod for drop shot. I'll just go ahead and let you know that drop shot is probably my favorite rig. It gets me the most fish. It's the most fun, in my opinion, and I really enjoy it. This is what I usually run a drop shot on, but I recently got a different rod and reel that I currently am running a drop shot on that. So I'm using this for anything that I wouldn't use a drop shot for. This is actually, I'll put this in the GoPro, this is the plastics version. If you're just looking for this and you don't want to go by model number, then you can go by what it's supposed to be used for, which would be the plastics. So that is rod number 1. I love that rod. It's really good. It's a really good all-around rod. If you just want something, if you just wanted to get one rod that has good power, good flex, and knows how to catch fish, it's definitely that rod. The other finesse rod is a Dick's Sporting Goods special. This is a 6'10" medium light fast action, medium light power fast action, 6'10", the drop shot dream shot, you might as well call it. I know that's a type of worm, but I'm going to call this rod the dream shot. So on here, this is a 2500 Shimano Sedona, and I'm going to get this guy in the GoPro for you. That way you can just see. I'm using multiple cameras just so I can have multiple angles for you guys. And underneath it actually has all the specs and everything. So 6'10", medium light fast. It's a really tight rod. I really enjoy it. So on here, this is the drop shot, 6-pound test Berkley Vanish fluorocarbon, and on here there is a 1/0 red Gamakatsu drop shot hook. The difference between these and like live bait hooks is those live bait hooks, they have that sort of they're not perfectly straight. They're bent at where the point is and the barb is. So these are specifically for drop shot, and you can use those live bait hooks too. I use them all the time. They're great. And then on here as a weight, I use this is a 3/16 ounce weight. This is just my favorite all-around weight. Since I got the smaller hook, I'm actually going to take this weight off and put a 1/8 ounce, just to see how the action changes and if I can catch more fish with that. This is my drop shot, the Deadly Drop Shot Dream, my dream shot rod. So this is definitely one of my favorites right now, and a 6-pound test is perfect in my opinion for catching bass on it. It's light, it gives the bait really good action, and just makes them want to eat it, and they can't stand it half the time. So those are my 2 finesse rods. The one I always have a drop shot rigged up. It's by far my favorite rig, And so we're going to go into my other two. Now these are my two bait casting rods. The first bait casting rod here is a Abu Garcia Veritas 2.0, and it is a 7-foot. I'll see if I can get this in here for you. 7-foot heavy, Veritas 2.0, and this is my cranking rod. The reel is a Bass Pro Shop Pro Qualifier 6.4 to 1. I also have a 5.2 to 1 that I enjoy throwing as well, but for the most part I really enjoy the 6.4 to 1 ratio. This is actually on here right now is 12-pound mono. Normally you run fluorocarbon on your cranking rod. However, I do a lot of shallow cranking around docks and crap grass and just real not fun stuff. So I run the mono. It's not as abrasion resistant, but it helps when those square bills and these lipless, they bang off stuff. It helps them float back up a little bit, just ever so slightly, to make it. This on here right now is a red eye shad from Strike King, just in the red crawl, red tiger crawl color. Real good bait. Love this bait. Love red eye shads when you're trying to get those lipless crankbait bites. And spooled up with, like I said, 12-pound mono. This is the cranking rod, and really love it. This has got me a lot of fish. The final rod is kind of my catch-all right now. I don't have a ton of rods. I'm not a pro fisherman. I just can hold what my boat can hold. So I just go with 4, 2 of each. This rod is the Berkley Lightning Rod Shock. So this is a 7-foot medium heavy, and this thing basically do whatever I want to. This thing has tons of flex, not a ton, well I say a ton, but it just a good amount of flex, a real good hook set. The reel is a Lew's Tournament MB speed spool at a ratio of 8.3 to 1. This is definitely a super high speed reel, but when I was looking at the reels, I wanted a reel that the fish would be in the water the least amount of time possible. And if you start cranking them in with this 8.3, they're going to be in the well before they even know they're caught. So that's why I do that. This right here, this is the line is a 30-pound test Power Pro grade. I just love 30-pound test. It has a 8-pound test mono diameter, and I just that's perfect for me. That's what I like to fish with. And the rig on here right now is just a standard Texas rig with a 3/8 ounce bullet weight with this is just a 2/0 offset worm hook, and then this is the RoboWorm Morning Dawn on here right now. I'm actually going to change this to a jig that I'll go over when you look at my lures and stuff. But this is kind of, I'll throw a Texas rig, I'll put a jig, I'll put a spinnerbait, I'll put whatever on here. It doesn't matter. But this is a really good setup as well. So now, looking forward, going to the lures I like to throw. So we're going to use the GoPro for this one because it's really going to be of use here. So now here in Central Florida, the water most of the time is mucky and dirty and just not very fun. So these chartreuse and blackback crankbaits just do wonders. They're really good down here. Morning time, evening time, even middle of the afternoon when they're not really feeding, you can get a reaction bite out of these crankbaits, and I really enjoy that. So I actually have 3 different ones in my arsenal. I have the 5XD here, which is huge, big 17-foot diver. For these phosphate pits we have down here, they're basically trenches, and you can get there's one here locally that's about 25-30 feet deep. So this guy really gets down there to where those suspended fish are. And then this is the 2.5. So this is just a square bill. This is the 3 to 5 foot diver that's made to really just get in there and cover and just bang around and try to get those bites. This has caught a lot of fish. And then I have the ultra shallow. This guy dives 2 to 4 feet, but with the mono it's mostly like 3 to 4 feet. So 2 to 4, 3, 4, that's not right, but 2 to 3. Sorry, that's what I'm going to say. 2 to 3 feet instead of 2 to 4. So this guy's really good for the morning bite, since it stays right near the top where those morning fish are going to want to grab it. So that one's real good. I have some other stuff, like I have this Shadow Rab Rapala jerk bait. There's not that much clear water around here, but there are some phosphate pits that do have really clear water because they have a lot of, not hydrilla, but bushes that just clean the water, so it's really just super clear. For jigs, I just have really good ones in these dark waters, or these black and blue jigs. This is just a 1/4 ounce jig. It's not very big, but I cut a June bug, 6-inch June bug lizard in half and kind of put that on here as the trailer. So stuff like that, you know, really work well. Here's a bigger. This is a football head. I think this is a 3/8 ounce football head, and then I cut up a crawdad here and trimmed the skirt back to where it would not interfere with the action of that tail. And I've caught some nice fish on this particular lure. And then just a couple, I have two, you know, brown jigs. One's bigger than the other. This one I think is a 3/8 ounce as well, with just a crawl trailer. And then this is a just a bleeding, so we've got a little bit of red in there with the crawl trailer. So that's that. And then for top water, I like to use these sexy dogs. I like walking the dog, and frogs are pretty good down here too. I wouldn't use a frog. I don't use frogs unless, I mean, I have one right here, but I don't use a frog really unless there's a lot of vegetation on the top, you know, like not even the lily pads, but just algae. Algae does really good with these frogs. So I tend to use the frogs when I'm going to somewhere with a lot of like just top algae. So that's really it. I mean, there's rattle traps and different color rattle traps and jerk baits and stuff, but they all kind of cover the same thing. But I just wanted to get the ones that I really like. So next, I'm going to talk about terminal tackle. And this is just a terminal tackle that I like to have on me at all times, whatever the case may be. So if we open this up, we're going to see, let me see if I can get this a little bit better. Okay, so here we just have a bunch, a plethora of just worm hooks, offset hooks of all sizes. Even these spinning hooks, they're really fun to use sometimes. And then even all the way over here, up top we have those little red 1/0 drop shot hooks that I was talking about. And if you look at it, you can see it's pretty straight. There's no real bend to the barb until, you know, you get to one of these other hooks that you can really see there's a real bend in them. And I like to use those for drop shot and still. I mean, they're still really nice. I have a bunch, some 3/0s and 2/0s in here just hanging out. And then those are really good. So and then here, okay, so here are just like some various weedless hooks, big old weedless hooks, smaller weedless hooks, and then also weighted hooks just for swim baits and things like that. These guys here are the sinkers. I like to call these the poor man's drop shot weight. I used these before I even knew what drop shot weights were. My local store didn't have them until recently, so I used these guys. Just tied a Palomar knot into the end of the tag, and that was my poor man's drop shot. And then I have beads, swivels, and egg sinkers for Carolina rigging, which is fun. And then here are my 3/8 bullets and my 1/8 bullets. So that's, and these are 1/16 ounce nail weights for wacky rigging. And then I use these little guys just for worms and Senkos sometimes. They're always fun. They're kind of like my ultra finesse Ned rigs. These are this is actually a 1/10 I think Ned rig mushroom head right here from Z-Man. So, and these I just get at Walmart. You know, they're super cheap. You can get like, you know, 10 for. I got these on clearance. Most of the stuff, all these Mustad hooks were on clearance for $1 a pack. So I really made out with those. But you can get all this stuff basically at Walmart. So if you don't have a Dick's, if you don't have a Bass Pro near you, Walmart's still a really surprisingly decent place to get hooks and worms and stuff like that. So, oh, I forgot to mention, I also picked up some new type of drop shot weights. I'm going to give these guys a try. These are 3/16 ounce ball weights, round drop shot weights. I'm going to give these guys a try here soon. And you know, I also got some more 1/8 ounce cylinder ones that I'm going to try out. Really looking forward to those. So, other than that, we have one more bag. And these are just, this is just the bag of spinner baits. I just have all my spinner baits in here, buzz baits, some really good ones. Just black and white do really good. Never caught anything on this red one right here, but that's not to say it doesn't catch fish. I just haven't yet. A couple chartreuse ones. You know, this one is actually really fun. It's got a trailer hook on it and two shad looking blades, willow blades. So and I have them in this old medicine bag. It's like really tough. It's like a real tough bag. So if you can find one of these bags, don't let go of it. Just use it for your spinner baits. I love it. But that's basically the setup, guys. That's everything that I use. And those are, I'll tie anything on any given day, and that's basically my favorite thing to do is right now is fish, and try to bring you guys as much information as I can. I'm still new, I'm still learning. I've been fishing for about 6 months, real hard. So, but I'm quick to learn, I'm quick to adapt, and I like to try new things. So, if you have any questions for me, if you're a beginner as well, I'd love to learn with you. If you're experienced, tell me what you like. Tell me what fish works for you. No matter what the lake situation, if you have real clear lakes, wonderful. If you have murky lakes like me, great. Tell me what works for you. The fishing world needs to be a collaboration, not a competition, unless you're in a tournament situation, but that's another day. But let's collaborate, man. Let's try some stuff. Suggest things for me. I can get the baits. I can try it out. I'm gonna bring you guys some on the water videos here shortly. And we're going to have some fun. So thank you for watching, and I hope everyone has a nice evening, and I'll catch you next time.